Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister and does he stand by his statement yesterday about SOEs that, quote, we want to give New Zealanders a chance to invest in these assets, unquote?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes, and of course New Zealanders would be a top priority, and can I just say how surprised I am the members asking me this question, because David Parker was in the Otago Daily Times yesterday saying he was going to lead the charge on SOEs.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Prime Minister.
Order. I've called the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove. Order. Order. Say to government members this time, I've called the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Thank you, sir. The Prime Minister, can he specify which New Zealanders will get a chance to invest in state-owned assets, given that they already own these assets via the Crown through their taxes?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, Mr Speaker, I dare say that the 1.6 million KiwiSaver accounts are likely to be interested. I would have thought the New Zealand Super Fund that holds assets on behalf of all of the 4.4 million New Zealanders will. I would have thought ACC would. I would have thought there'd be quite a number of high retail investors. And if he just wants to tap his mate on the shoulder there, ask them, because iwi are interested in buying some shares too.
Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
The Prime Minister, will the New Zealanders who have a chance to invest in SOEs include those people who, according to Statistics New Zealand, received an average wage increase of 1.7% last year, which was then completely eroded by the 4% increase in prices, meaning they have little or no disposable income?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, well, I would remind the member that wages have gone up 16% and costs by 6%, but putting that just to one side, Mr Speaker, as I said earlier, one of the things that actually really surprised me was that the distribution of the 1.6 million KiwiSaver accounts is so heavily skewed towards low and middle income New Zealanders, and they are saving for the long haul.
Jacinda Ardern.
Will the New Zealanders who have a chance to invest in SOEs include the 158,000 people who are currently unemployed and have little or no disposable income?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes, of course they will. They are free like any other New Zealander, but of course, those that have very low levels of disposable income are not likely to do so because of those reasons, and that's one of the reasons why welfare reform will help those New Zealanders get into work. And I say to that member, how lucky those New Zealanders are that Labour isn't in office, because if their ETS had been rolled out, they'd be paying so much more. If their air quality standards had been rolled out, thousands of them would have lost their jobs. And by the way, if they were working on the Hobbit, they'd be working overseas.
Kelvin Davis. Order. I've called Kelvin Davis. Order.
Supplementary
Order.
to the Prime Minister. Will the New Zealanders who have a chance to invest in SOEs include those people who are paying $25 to $40 extra a week for early childhood education and have less disposable income as a result?
Mr Speaker, if there are those people, then yes, and actually they would be probably at 100% teacher-led centres, so they're likely probably to be higher income New Zealanders. And I say to that member, can he please do the decency of passing his supplementary question to David Parker, because so far we're going from Phil Goff to Shane Jones right through to that member, Kelvin Davis. I don't know who's next. Jacinda Ardern. Anyone else want to ask a question over that side?
The Honourable Clayton Order. Order. I know the issues. A hotly contested issue, but the member has a right to ask a supplementary question. The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Government diversions aside, Mr Speaker, my supplementary is to the Prime Minister. Isn't it actually the case, Prime Minister, that the only people who will be in a position to invest in SOEs will be the wealthiest 10% of New Zealanders who received, thanks to you and your government, 42% of the national government's tax cuts last year, and of course foreign institutions who already own many of the former state assets?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I'd remind the member that 2/3 of all personal tax cuts actually went to the low and middle income New Zealanders. Secondly, Mr Speaker, let me run through this one last time. There are 1.6 million KiwiSaver accounts. If they're not investing in a blue chip company like Meridian, What are they investing in? And I make that offer one more time. Can someone please pass a supplementary question to David Parker? Or I'm thinking about letting him answer the question if he's not allowed to ask them.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard. Order. Order. No, order. I'm on my feet. Order. There will be silence when I'm on my feet, both sides of the House. The Honourable Trevor Mallard, supplementary question.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister.
Order. Order. Now, the member knows he can't do that, and he's just lost his supplementary question. No, he's got another one indeed, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, my supplementary is to the Prime Minister. Is it his expectation that someone with assets of $50 million and a 2% current return, which results in a $1,000 a week tax cut, will find this share offer attractive?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, if there was such a mythical person, they might, because I'm sure there's lots of New Zealanders that would want to invest in those assets. And can I say to the member that I appreciate the fact that he has his hair very similar to mine, undyed and quite short and grey on the sides.
Order. 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 The House will come to order straight away. Order. No, I've allowed too much misbehaviour today. Members who don't normally misbehave have been quite disorderly there. And I penalised the Honourable Trevor Mallard for a very disorderly comment, and I don't think the Prime Minister's comment at the end of that question was helpful. Labour have just regained their supplementary question. The Honourable David Parker.
Yes, point of order.
Order.
Point of order.
Now look, I meant what I said to the House. A bit of fun's fair enough. Remember, you resume a seat for a moment. But we cannot be too disorderly. Today's been pretty noisy. First day of question time, I understand that, but can't let it go too far. The Honourable David Parker.
Sir, I seek leave to take up the Prime Minister's offer that I answer the question that Clayton Cosgrove put to him.
Well, I guess leave is sought for the member to answer a question that was put to the Prime Minister. Is there any objection to that? There is objection. Order. Question number 10. Point of order, the Honourable Nick Smith.
I seek leave of the House to table the speech by Finance spokesperson David Cunliffe supporting mixed ownership of SOEs and private shareholding in those companies.
This speech, where was...
By the Labour Finance spokesperson David Cunliffe in November 2010.
Whereabouts, though? Where was the speech made?
The speech was made in Wellington.
Whereabouts?
Victoria University.
Okay, leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Question number 10, David Bennett.